Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the biggest rumors swirling around the NFL right now. Something that could shake up the entire NFC South and give the Falcons a serious boost heading into the stretch run of the season. There's buzz coming out of league sources, notably from ESPN's Adam Schefter, that the Denver Broncos might be open to trading Patrick Surtain II. Yes, you heard that right. Patrick Surtain II, one of the best young cornerbacks in the league, potentially on the move, and the Falcons could be front and center in this deal. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this real? Could the Falcons pull it off? Well, let's dig into what's happening, what it could mean, and why this might be one of the most intriguing trade rumors of the year. Right now, the Broncos sit at 5-8, and it looks like they're in full rebuild mode. They've been trying to clear cap space and gather assets for a future that's clearly focused on building around their young quarterback, Russell Wilson. That's where the rumor comes in. Denver might be willing to trade Surtain, who's just entering his prime, for a king's ransom. The buzz suggests they're eyeing a package that includes a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, along with cornerback A.J. Terrell, who's been a staple of the Falcons, secondary for a few seasons now. The idea is that the Broncos see Surtain as a cornerstone piece to help them rebuild a formidable defense, while the Falcons, who are sitting at 5-9 and struggling in their secondary after losing Trice to IR, could see this as a game changer. Let's talk about Surtain for a second because this guy is the real deal. He's a lockdown cornerback and his career stats back it up. 15 interceptions, 85 pass breakups, and a 2025 season with 6 INTs and a PFF grade of 91. 3, that's elite. His ability to shut down top receivers is well documented, and he's proven resilient despite injuries, coming back strong after a shoulder injury this year and holding opponents to under 35 yards in 8 games. His performance against the Chiefs in Week 9 was a perfect showcase, 4 pass breakups, an interception, and just generally making life miserable for the opposing offense. His coverage skills are top-notch, allowing only 0.6 yards per target, and his EPA per target sits at -0.17, meaning he's a true game-changer when on the field. Now, why would the Falcons want Surtain? Well, for starters, their secondary has been leaky, especially after losing Trice to IR. A pairing of Surtain and Terrell would instantly elevate the Falcons' pass defense. Terrell has also been performing well with an impressive 87, 9 PFF grade and 4 interceptions this season. But adding Surtain to that mix would truly make the Falcons' secondary an elite unit, one of the best in the league, no doubt. It's not just about boosting stats, it's about transforming the entire defensive philosophy, making it tougher for opponents to throw the ball with confidence. Plus, Surtain's presence could help Atlanta reduce their passing yards allowed from around 285 yards per game to closer to 188, mirroring the Broncos' historic defense trends when Surtain is in the lineup. This trade makes sense from a strategic point of view for both sides. The Broncos are looking to shed cap space, reportedly around $17 million, and they're also trying to extend the contract of Surtain, a key offensive lineman. They've been linked with a desire to unload assets that don't fit into their long-term plan, especially with the team's payroll being a contentious issue. On the other hand, the Falcons are eager to strengthen their defense, which has been a weak spot this season. The secondary has been especially vulnerable, and Surtain's addition would bring a lockdown corner to Atlanta's backfield, giving them a much-needed boost against high-powered offenses like the Saints, Buccaneers, and even the Panthers. But let's be honest, this isn't just about one player. It's about the impact this could have on the Falcons' entire season. Surtain's arrival would be akin to what Jalen Ramsey brought to the Rams back in 2019, an immediate upgrade that shifts the entire defensive dynamic. It's reminiscent of the Rams' playoff run that year, where Ramsey's presence turned the secondary into a real X-factor. With Surtain, Atlanta could see a dramatic drop in opposing completion percentages, down from 54% to around 46%, and a significant decrease in yards allowed per pass attempt. This would give the Falcons a chance to ramp up their pass rush, force more turnovers, and turn their defense from a weakness into a true strength. The statistical impact of Certain on a team is undeniable. His presence typically leads to a decrease in passing yards allowed by about 34% and boosts the team's overall pass defense efficiency. For the Falcons, this could mean a more aggressive defense that blitzes more effectively, putting pressure on quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins, who's been boosted by the London games but still vulnerable under pressure. Certain's ability to shut down top receivers like Mike Evans, who's been a thorn in the Falcons' side, would be a game changer, especially in tight divisional matchups. Plus, his resilience after a shoulder injury this year shows he's durable and committed to playing at a high level, which is exactly what Atlanta needs in their secondary. Now, from a playoff perspective, this move could be the difference maker. The odds of Atlanta making a deep playoff run would skyrocket with Certain in the fold. Caesars recently bumped the Falcons' Super Bowl odds from +20-0 to +9-0, a significant jump that reflects the potential impact of bolstering the secondary. You could even see Atlanta emerging as a true contender, especially if their offense continues to click and their defense locks down opponents. Certain's ability to cover top-tier receivers would be a huge factor in neutralizing the league's best offenses. Think about what he could do against teams like the 49ers or Cowboys, who rely heavily on their passing game. But let's keep it real. There are some skeptics. Some believe the Broncos might be hesitant to give up a young star like Certain, especially considering their cap situation and the fact that they're still trying to build around Wilson. Others think that the Broncos might prefer to hold onto their assets and try to rebuild through the draft rather than trade away a cornerstone. And there's always the question of whether A.J. Terrell, who's been solid for Atlanta, could be enough to entice Denver if paired with a first-round pick. Still, the potential upside for the Falcons is enormous. Adding a player like Certain could make them a serious contender in the NFC, especially with the kind of secondary coverage they've been lacking all season. So what's the bottom line here? If this trade goes down, it's a clear signal that the Falcons are all in on winning now. It's a bold move, no doubt, but one that could dramatically shift the balance of power in the NFC South and even the entire conference. The Falcons have been building this team for a few seasons now, and a move like this would be the ultimate statement, that they're ready to contend and that they're willing to make bold moves to get there. Imagine a defense with Certain and Terrell locking down the outside, forcing quarterbacks to make difficult throws, and turning the Falcons into a nightmare for offenses. That's the kind of team that can make a deep playoff push and maybe even bring Atlanta back to the Super Bowl stage. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Falcons should go all in for Certain? Would you be willing to part with Terrell and a first-round pick? Or do you think the Broncos should hold on to their young star? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. This could be the move that changes everything, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Keep the passion alive, Falcons fans. This is just the beginning of what could be an incredible new chapter for our team.